Hello everyone, welcome. So today's video I want to work a little bit more in the journal treasure hunt. So I mentioned, I think a few videos back, I've lost track now, that the edging, the prompt trims, I want to use the edging that I've got to create like a sampler. If you're new to the channel, you will probably be wondering what the heck I'm talking about. It's the Roxy Journal of Stitchery Treasure Hunt, and the prompt for the current week is trims. And I'm thinking the trim that is crocheted onto the end of the doilies around the outer perimeter would be lovely for my sampler journal, which is pretty much a traveling salesman going around and trying to sell his wares to haberdashery shops. So these are treasures in here that he would have to present to a shopkeeper. So that's the theory behind it anyway. So, and when I was doing this piece for the last prompt, I realized that I actually had a little bit of maintenance to do in the journal. So let's just get that done first. I've grabbed out my bolt of calico or muslin, and I just want to tear some additional pages for the journal. I was going to work out how many prompts were left, but I haven't done that technically, so I'll just do maybe 2. So I'm just snipping and ripping. Now the pages are which I use to attach the creative pieces that I make. For example, now that I've got one out, because I'd run out of them, this is the page that is stitched into the journal, and then my pieces of work get attached to that and then stitched in. So I'm short, well, quite a few. So I just want to get a few prepped and torn using the one that I currently have finished as my template. You don't have to be exact because, you know, little bits hanging out from the edges is always nice too. I like that look. So I just want to do a little bit of housekeeping. Maybe I do one more, then I've got a few. I'll leave it at that. That's enough for now. So it gives me 2 more pages, which will hold 4 stitched pieces, so 4 prompts, if you will, unless there's a prompt that I decide to go crazy and, you know, make more pages. So there's my 2 pages. We'll just give that a bit of a fingernail crease. So that means now these 2 have a home, so I can stitch that guy onto there. Where's my pins? Did I not bring my pins in? Where's Duck? Duck has pins. Won't be a moment, guys. Just grabbing Duck. My pins and needles, my usual little box is sitting next to my chair. I sort of want to prep a few things in this video, and then I can settle into doing some crocheting to create these edges. Now my best mate, who is a really prolific crocheter, we both taught ourselves around the same time, and she's really gone on to master reading patterns and, you know, really does a beautiful job. And I haven't really gone down to that extreme because I sort of got into stitching again. So my crocheting is still what I would call very basic. I can muddle my way through. So I'm just going to decide, I might put it this side, only because there's a selvage here. And if I can nestle but then my crochet edges, no, I might, or do I, just thinking. No, it definitely needs to be up that way. Maybe I put a crocheted edge on this. I could always, I've been saving this little piece, but I think it came off of a curved doily. Yeah, it did. That one's no good. I'm just thinking I want this selvage on the edge out here. I'm actually going to remove this. So I'm fiddling around here. I'm going to put adjust it. I'm going to put this one here. That way this edge is protected. Hello, Fudge. So I'm just going to reattach that. So using just tiny little stitches, I will attach our Fudgy. So it's late in the afternoon here today. My mate's coming this evening for dinner. And I just wanted to at least start this video and then sort of bring you guys up to speed, and then we will play tonight with our crocheting. And you guys will know by the end of the video how it all went. So that's the plan. This will be the crocheting in here, I think, the trims. That means I can put this heart one here. Yeah, I like that. Ducky needs some more. So I can just do some stitching now, and that will secure those pieces of work into position. Am I a little bit too close? Yeah, I'm a little bit too close to the center. That means they will crash a little bit. I've been running around like a mad chook all morning, just trying to, you know, run the vacuum over, tidy the kitchen benches. The plants look like they needed a water, so I did all that. I got a load of washing or two going. That's pretty good. That's better. So that's the start of the next pages in my journal. So there's the first page complete, then the second one, and they'll all sit on top of each other, and I can now do 2 pages here for trims. I think I'll need it. By the time I go looking for different pieces, I have a feeling that, you know, I'll really enjoy this crocheting. So let's just bring this back, and I'll do a similar thing that I did here, where it's sort of presented in that format. Maybe a numbering system again. Yeah, I really like how that came together. So let's just secure that back up. And as you know, I want to protect the spine. So all of my pages this side, let's move Ducky. So here's the other one that I just tore. Let's just pop that there. So that's 1, 2, 3 pages that will have all of my prompts recorded on them. And the last page, let's pretend now that that's the bottom. This will be attached to here. So then they will all sit on top of each other. And then I'll use this fabric that I've got here, some scraps, to create the tabs that they'll be stitched into, which I won't do today, it'll be another day. Okay, so that will create the spine, if you will, and all of these pages, there's 3 there now, 1, 2, 3 will be stitched in. There'll probably be a title page. Like, I've got plenty of space. This is a really good wide spine. So I could probably even get, gosh, I could probably get 4, 5 pages. So yeah, okay, so let's just grab one of these, because these are like the base I use to stabilize whatever I'm stitching. I always start with a piece of this muslin, so I feel good now. That's got some more pages ready to receive works of art. Now let's have a little look. This is the little pile of books. Now I've had this sitting to one side since the beginning of this project, because I just knew I would be wanting to explore a treasure, as in a treasure pattern or a treasure something. So we won't need this book. Oh, look, there is trims in there. Fudgy, like those. But we're not going to do that. I'm going to put that book away. Let's just keep the girl focused here. In amongst all this was some little unfinished treasures from out of Grandma's glory box, where all her crochet cottons were. So I do want to find a home for these as well, because these are all treasures. These are some of her favourite patterns. Well, looks like that's her handwriting. I wonder if there's a trim pattern. These are doilies. Doilies. What have we got here? Isn't that pretty? Oh, I've got that. I've got that. Little roses. 1946, Australian Home Journal, April 1st, 1946. I recognise that little doily. What's this one? Okay, 1947. A lacy luncheon set. Oh, look at the lady. 1939. Oh, I used to have a tennis racket like that, the timber one, and I thought I was so spiffy when I got an aluminium lightweight one, and I could really belt those balls around that tennis court when I was a kid. Oh, look at that, 1939. And there, of course, is the rest of the pattern on the back. Look, the girl is messing it all up. I can hear Grandma going, don't mess it up. What have we got here? 1945. So far they're all doilies. Oh, gosh. What's this? Oh, gosh. You're an old girl. All right, just don't open it. Just leave it be. Things are going to... That's what we want. Just get rid of this little pile first to make sure there's nothing... 1938. I think they're all doilies, yeah. Some of you may even recognise some of these patterns if you're a collector of doilies or a crocheter of doilies. All right, we've got 2 little letters. I hope they're not... Are they love letters? No. They're patterns. Okay, so she must have sent away to the Sunday Mail, Queen Street, Brisbane. Look at that. It's got my grandfather's initial S rhymbot instead of L. Grandma was Lorna, and that stands. So the letter is addressed to Grandad, even though it is crocheting. We're not even going to comment about that. But anyway, moving along. Is that pretty? Hopefully one day I'll have the time to play with these, but I don't think these are any good to me today. And I think this is probably similar. What's the stamp on it? 1949. Yeah. I think they call that the pineapple print. Pretty common. Okay. None of that's any good to me. Those aren't needed at the moment. Crocheted edges. There she is. This is hers. Oh, goodness. Oh, that's pretty. I do like that. What I might have to do is actually photocopy these because these pages are so delicate. A tea cloth with a motif edge. I'm going to love them all, aren't I? Oh, look at that. Look at that. Oh, I'm going to have to... Oh, hello. What have we got here? A hot water system. More crocheting. Handkerchief pinwheels, edging. Oh my goodness, what's that all about? 1964. That doesn't look good. More edgings, little crosses, ecclesiastic lace. So what magazine is this from? Doesn't say. Another one, church lace and corner. So Grandma would have done some crocheting for the Lutheran church in Kingaroy. That'd be why all altar cloths. That'd be why all this is here. Well, the one that caught my eye is that motif in there. So this looks like just sets. Look at all her counting. She's written. That one's no good to me. Oh, that's like crocheted flowers. Okay. It's interesting. The pansy wheel, the orchid daily. Wonder when this was printed. It was 35 cents. Oh my goodness. Which probably would have been a lot of money. Oh, that's not my grandmother. This has come from an aunt on Granddad's side, but a couple generations down. 1968. So that's no good to me. So we're eliminating a few things. What have we got here? Margate News Agency, $4.20. So it's got Grandma's name on it. That's pretty. Oh, these are different. Goodness me. Oh, little house. Gosh. Stitching a landscape, making a curtain, and then you'd have this little house stitched into the lace. You never see these things at the op shop, do you? Oh, goodness. That just looks like eye strain. Oh, I don't mind that. Looks like a butterfly. Is that meant to be a butterfly? Yeah. Pineapples with butterfly. Yeah, that's that pineapple stitch. Gee, that'd be nice on a journal. Home is where the heart is, a cushion cover. centerpiece baskets, nests. Oh, my brain is hurting. And some instructions. Easter. So this must have come out around Easter time. All right, well, that's no good to me. There's only one really in there. Now, this book, I don't even know where it come from. I have a feeling it's from my stash of books, but maybe. So this is where I think I need to peruse, hang out, make some selections. I need some post-it notes. Where's some post-it notes? I want to move my chair, and I just, Fudgy, don't let my chair run over your little tail. Okay, can't find the post-it notes. That's all good. We shall make a few that catch our eye, and I'm thinking let's just keep it simple for the girl. Look, same 3. So that'd be a pretty little one. I think that's a good one to warm up on. Like something like that would be amazing. I might be able to convince Mary Ann to do that. Number 8, I think, is a good one for me to warm up on. Working into the back ridges at the beginning of the chain. So to work a V-stitch, use a double crochet, a single one and a double into the stitch. Okay. Work into the back ridges, single crochet into the 3rd and the hook, skip 1, do your V-stitch into the next chain, chain 2, skip the next chain and work a V-stitch. That's not too bad. Does it say how many here? Chain 7. So every 7, if I'm reading this right, every 7 chain, this will happen. So depending on my length, if I'd want 14 or 21. So that's how that will work. All right, so gotcha. I think that's 2 pieces of paper. So that might be a good one to start with, I think. Let's keep looking. Sort of want some variety. Come back to those. Nothing jumping out at me. I sort of don't mind 13. That's cute. Fudgy. That might be all wonky. I think that's going to probably sit weird. Like to get all that lace looking good. That might have more structure to it. I think 13 is worth having a play with. Even 15's not bad. Fudgy. Oh, that's pretty. That's a Mary Ann one. Oh boy. Might be batting above my pay grade here. 18 looks like a nice solid little one. We'll see. Once I have a sit down with my crocheter, and we'll see what she thinks. That's a pretty little one. 23, that'd be a good Corrine one. I think I could pull that off. I can see already what's making that one up. Ooh, some of those are nice. Look at that. Looks hard. Oh, wow, look at those. They're more interesting. 27, 28, 29. Oh, you guys will be really impressed if I report back with my adventures. I even like that. Look at that. 30. And I wonder if when it says, you know, this pattern is for chain 15. So it's got the gauge here, 1/8. Okay. That's pretty. That'd be a challenge, but rather cute. That's a good one. Oh, I think I'm biting off more than I can chew. I know you're all sitting out there going, this will be interesting. There's some really pretty ones. And none of these look like the ones that I'm used to too. Like, does no one do these fancy ones? I always seem to see the same, unless I'm just not recognizing the pattern because you're now looking at the actual completed piece. Don't know. Look at this one here. So, yeah, I will pop a few existings in amongst it. Gee, they look impressive there, don't they? That was one I picked out. That one. Oh, there's so many. I think I need to stop. Oh, I love that. I love that. All right, one more. Gonna need a whole new journal. That's pretty. That looks like that. Oh no. No. That's 70. Marianne's going to take a look at all these post-it notes, these marks, and go, how much time do you think I've got? And I'll say, plenty of time. Just get crocheting. That's pretty, isn't it? 77. You know what would be really cool is when we put them into the pages in the journal, these numbers, we use that as the number. We could probably even refer to the book. So it literally is a sampler from a particular book. So that then, I'm going to do all of them out of this book. Those feel so delicate too. I will destroy the books before, oh, look at that. I'll destroy the books before we even get finished. This is, at least feels quite sturdy. That's pretty, that little zigzag. Number 87. Ooh. Oh, look at that. 93. Gotta have some big ones. I need more paper, guys. Oh my goodness. It's a little sweetie. Maybe that's a good one for me to try first. 94. I'll write that on there. Are they all starting to look the same? They are a little. Don't mind 109. Okay. So that's the plan, guys. I'm going to deep dive into crocheting these edgings to create trim sampler for my journal. So I can put this page back. Oh, I know the other thing I was going to do is pick some fabric of which they can be displayed upon. and I thought about using this. I picked it up at the textile, the sewing lair. So I'm going to cut myself, and I think the cream laces will all show up really well on this background. So the plan is to cut myself a piece of this as well. So let's get that little housekeeping job done. See, I'm getting all these little tasks done. And then I'll be ready. I'll just have to dig out my crocheting needles before Marianne gets here. She's bringing dinner too. Like, how good's that? She's like, my shout for dinner. I'm bringing everything we need. It'll be over. I'm like, yes, please. I don't know what we're having. I didn't ask. I was just like, excellent. Thank you. That would be lovely. I'm going to go to this side and take another square here because I love this tassel at the bottom. And just to be frugal with my fabric, I'm going to take it from here. You can't really see, but I think you get the general gist of what I'm up to. Doing some housework here, getting ready. So I will now pause this video because that's sort of the introduction, I guess. I'm going to go away and have a play with my mate and crochet. Let's just get back in here. I may not even need that because the reason is this fabric is so strong, heavy duty, thick. So I might just do that to there, that to there, and then all the samples will be on the inside. So that's the plan, guys. In the meantime, I need to actually stitch these into position so they're secure and safe. So that's my actual homework too. I might do that while I sit and do the sales pitch to Marianne to actually do some crocheting. All right, oops, there's that template. So I'm just getting myself organized. Yes, Fudge, you're next. It's Fudge's afternoon tea. So I will sort the cat next. I can stitch that and I'm ready to have a chat to Marianne about all of these patterns and we can have a play. So there may even be a week go by before I get back to this video, but yeah, at least you know where we're at. So I'll pause it. A week will probably pass and then I'll be back to show you what happened. All right, guys, look after yourselves. No, I'm not saying goodbye. I'll be back in a second. Hi, guys, I'm back. Let me say this has been a trial. I nearly threw it across the room a couple times, but I've found my mojo now. I mentioned just before that my mate Marianne was coming over and I would go through the book with her and do some crocheting. If not, try and convince her to do lots of crocheting. That didn't quite happen. Yes, they came over for dinner, but we sat around and chatted all night. And by the time it came to visiting my craft room, we just didn't feel like it. So that's still a work in progress. I've attempted, well, I've glanced briefly at the patterns and I'm pretty confident I'd spend ages trying to, you know, get the pattern into my brain. So I ended up going onto YouTube, and remember the YouTube channel I used for the hearts? It's called Just Vintage Crochet. That lovely lady, she is one of the best teachers I've seen around. And I went to her first and saw that she had a how to crochet vintage crocheted edging tutorial. So how to vintage crochet edging tutorial, and her channel is just vintage crocheting. Now she goes through one of those little books that has a heap of them in and picks out 3. So I've done the first one. It was a nice simple one, which was really, really good. Nice and lacy and simple. And I'm just working on the second one as we speak, which is this one. Now, when I first sat down to do some crocheting, I went as they recommended with a really fine one, a thread, and the needle, and it just wasn't right. It was a bit loopy. It's a bit too loose. What I might do is finish it off anyway and come back along adding this little picot, but I found that to create the little picot, it was just too itty bitty for me and my eyes and my hands. But I was sitting on the couch in a semi-dark movie lit area. You know, I didn't make it easy on myself, but I did get quite frustrated, and that's when I was like, oh my goodness, I'm halfway through filming the video and we didn't get to this, and I really want to get back to you guys to sort of show you where I'm at. So the thin thread, don't do it to yourself. So the next day, after I calmed down, I went and found a number 5 crochet cotton. I stitch with this all the time. My favourite is number 8, but number 5 is, you know, just that little bit thicker. So I went back to my channel and I did this one, and I've started on this one, and I'm loving it. Went from, oh, what am I going to do? I'm going to have no edges, to wacky do, look what I've achieved. So I'm feeling quite chuffed with myself. So I just want to do a couple more sections of this particular little pattern. Then I will leave you guys alone. Actually, no, I want to place them on the page, because I did, when I thought this was not going to happen, I went rummaging and found some gorgeous trims. Look, that one there is that one without the picots. Very, very similar. So maybe I could do that instead of trying to do the picots in that tiny thread. Maybe I'll just come back and do a little, yeah, I might do that. Let's just finish a little bit of this one. I'll show you what I'm up to. So to turn, this one is a case 3, 4, 5. This one here, I chain stitched 50, and then you work the row. This one builds and stacks as you go. And I think the next one she does as well. It's a very scalloped little edge on it. I'll put the video that I'm using in the description. So if you did want to have a go at doing a little bit of crocheted edge work, even if you don't have a journal to put them in, these would just be fantastic to have as little, you know, do a 25 centimetre length and just pop them all in a little basket, have a heap of them, and you can use them, cut them up and use them as trims on things. They're just, why not? If you can't get hold of doilies, and you can crochet and maybe haven't done it for a little while like myself, pick it up and, yeah, do your thing. All right, I need to concentrate. What I've done is I tend to watch the video a few times, follow along, pause, do a bit, pause. Then I get to the point where I think I've got it in my head, so then I write it out in my own language, and that then helps me to, you know, leave the video alone and just work the piece itself. So I'm on to, there's 2 rows being repeated, and it's this one next. Okay, so I've chained up, so I'm going to 3 double crochet into the gap, so there's a little gap there. So I'll just do the 2 rows, and if you are a very good crocheter, you will pick this up straight away. If it interests you, you might go and watch the video. Okay, 3 double crochet into the gap, and we're going to chain 2. That scoots me along, and then we're going to double crochet into the 3rd one. So we skip 2, 1, 2, and we're going to double crochet into the top of the double crochet below. I'm going to skip 2, and then we're going to double crochet into the next one along. Skip 2, sorry, and double crochet into that guy, and that's that row completed. So then to get to the next row, we chain 5, turn your work, and we're now on to this page. So I've got these 2 gaps, so we're going to double crochet into the post between the 2 gaps, like so. Then we're going to chain 2, that sort of moves me along, and then there's 6 double crochet. 3 go into those 3 little double crochets, and then 3 into the little gap. So 1, 2, 3. Now there was 3 into the gap, 1, and then once we get these 6 into position, we've got to create this little V at the end that helps give a gap for the next row. So that's chain 2 and 1 double crochet once again into that same gap, and that's that row. So now we've got to chain 5 to get ourselves up into the air, and then we can turn, and that sort of becomes the start of the next loopy little gap, and we're back to this one. So we're going to 3 double crochet into the gap. I might just zoom in, so if you are thinking of joining me, maybe pause the video at this stage, grab your gear, and then come back, and I'll just show you a couple little rows. If not, go and do some washing up. Okay, 3 double crochet into the gap. 1, 2. Okay, that's the 3 of them into the gap below. And it says chain 2. We're going to skip 2 and double crochet into the next one. Chain 2 and double crochet into the next one, which should be the last one. And then that's it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Turn your work, and we're ready to go back across. Now they want to double crochet into that post, like so. Chain 2, and then we're doing that 6 double crochet, 3 into the 3 below, and then 3 into the gap at the end, and that's it. You'll have to watch the video to get you started, because I did that yesterday and I can't quite remember if there was any tricks there, or it was literally just, oh, there would have been a base you'd have to create, so there might be a few little tricks, so you'd have to go to the video to catch her. This is the second one in her video. That was the first one, and I'm yet to try her third, which is like a scalloped one, similar to this. It sort of crabs up instead of going along a foundation. Now we're creating a little V, so double crochet, 2 singles, no, sorry, oh goodness, this is why I don't teach this stuff. 2 chain, and then another double crochet, and that creates the little V. Then we go up 2, 3, 4, 5, turn the work, and you're back to 3 double crochet into that gap. 1, 2, 3, 2 chain, then skip 2 and into the third one along, another double crochet, chain 2, and then skip 2 and into the third is that double crochet, and that's it. Chain 5 to get up to the next row. 2, 4, 5, and we're back to into the post. So very repeated, but simple. Now we've got to do this 6, 3 into the actual double crochets. 1, 2, 3 into the hole at the end, another 3, 2, 3. Now we create our little V with a chain 2 with our little V. Now what I should do is stop because I'm getting carried away and it's very quickly getting some length on it. So I need to get my little page out and work out if this is going to fit. Well, it's definitely going to go down the page because it's not going to fit any other way. Let me just put the little skinny one out of the way, the thin one, and that one, and my book, and grab the journal. Let's see where we're at. I was thinking too about the pages. I did a bit of a count of how many prompts we've got to go. We've actually got 6. So I probably don't really need to get too carried away here, but I know I will. So doing 2 pages might be a bit of a risky move because we don't know the rest of the prompts. But, oh yeah, that's good. Which is the front, which is the back. I don't think it really matters too much because that sort of looks pretty. So what I'll do is I'll probably leave that at that. Yeah, I'm not going to go any further with that because I am going to run out of page. How quickly that grew into the right length. Oh, I'm zoomed in. Hang on, guys. Let me just bring you up a little bit. Sorry about that. Let's just bring that knot, which I didn't do properly. That's better. This knot here is a bit wonky too. It needs a needle and thread there to knot that a little bit better. And then it'll be a case of pin it, get everything looking really nice and straight with some little stitches, and then I can pull out all these little V stitches to get those peaks. I might even use the needle and thread to get the point on them, because I'd say they're meant to be a bit of a point. If this was finer cotton and then starched, you'd definitely get that correct shape that, yeah, that's the point, definitely. So that'll look really neat. So there we go. So that's that one. And then this little guy, he should fit across easily. Yeah, oh, lovely. So that's about the size of the rest of them I need to do. Can't get too big, which is a blessing probably. So once again, I'll just have to fiddle with them as I stitch them into position and get them nicely laid. Now this little guy, instead of doing a picot with another point, I might just come back and do, can't remember how she did. So it's so fine. Where are we? Or maybe I just abandon this one. No, we can't do that. See, it's really tricky to, oh my goodness, I don't know how they did those fine ones. Just the thread alone. I remember seeing Grandma crochet with this stuff. There's crochet hooks in there that are so tiny. One, two, three, 4, 5. Where will we go? We'll go into the third one there. I don't know, I'm making this up as we go. Do a single crochet into the top of that one. See how it twists on me? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I was trying to do this in a semi-dark room. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we'll single crochet into the top of that one. I'm changing the pattern. Oh, goodness me. Oh, my goodness me. I'm not going to swear. I'm going to battle and get this little sucker done. Single crochet. See, they did chain 5, and then on the third stitch down did a little picot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that sort of gave that little nodule look. Now we're going to single crochet into the next gap along. Talk about persistent. The girl's not giving up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then into the next gap. Single crochet. Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is more like the one that's on that doily I just showed you. No, that's not it. That's a slip stitch. Pick up your thread, round you go, and then take it through. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Single crochet. Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm nearly there. I'm nearly there. Oh, goodness me. Forgot to take the thread. Round we go. Oh my goodness. You're probably feeling my pain, I'm sure, by now. Just hate how it spins, and because it's so fine, it's really delicate work. Can you imagine making lace like this? 3, 4, 5. Oh, I'd be sitting there in my Edwardian dress with all my petticoats and ruffles and all the palaver that was the clothing in those days, trying to crochet lace, getting very frustrated, sitting there in a corset. Yeah, thank goodness I wasn't born in that era. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last one, guys. Into the end of that, I think, with a slip stitch. That'll do. Slip stitch it is. So a slight variation to the pattern, which is that one, but that's okay. Look, now I've got a third one. Let's put this nasty little thin thread away and save that for slow stitch, because it's, there we go. There she is. Hello, little girl. Probably should have been into the third stitch of those bumps. Then it would have sat really well. but it doesn't matter. We'll stitch it down and no one will ever know. Well, they might do. It'll take a little bit. See how it's just whoopy? It's because my tension's not right. You've got to get that straight and then pull. I think it'll be a case of get the back of it straight and then pull the little bumps out with a stitch. I think that might be the way I go to get it down, so at least it looks half decent. Otherwise it's going to look, well, I bet this salesman who has this journal doesn't sell many of this at Ledge, because the example's not very good. Yeah, I don't know if it'll even sit right, because the tension's all out of whack. We'll see. We'll give it a go. We'll see if we can get that little sucker in. Can't throw anything away, can we? It's a bit wonky there. There we go. It'll take a bit, but I think we can fake it with the perfectly placed stitches to get the baseline right. Then if I stitch the next row, and then I can use that bit of tension to pull down the work like so. There you go. Now, before we go, we do need to get a piece of Grandma's work in here. This is a treasure. It's got a few marks on it. It's a bit of an old girl, this piece. Maybe put it in the center. Don't know. Don't really want to cut it. No, why am I being so delicate? I don't think I can use it, guys. I don't want to cut it. It was in her crocheting, box. Yeah, I don't think I can cut it. No, I can't. This was another one from a doily of hers. I think I'll persist with trying to crochet some actual pieces. I think I'll feel better about myself knowing that I actually made the pieces. These are some I pulled out that I thought I could use as well. I thought about putting that there. That one is a manufactured one, but I thought if I'm not going to get any crocheted, you know, at least I could have some. Maybe I'll do that. I do like the look of that, actually. That's a mass-produced one. That's not, that's an old girl from the collection. Then there's little crocheted edges on this little handkerchief here. And then this, and I was considering taking the rose for my Fleur Woods project, but I just couldn't bring myself to cut it. And then when I realised that this was a edge that Grandma did, I thought, well, I'd get the edge as well, but I don't know. I don't think I'm ready to cut that. Then this is the classic mass-produced edge, and I've got this in so many sizes, and I thought, well, that'd be a good one. Then I thought to myself, well, I could crochet that. So I'm sort of having a bit of turmoil about how this page comes together and what I use. So I just don't want to rush it. Don't want to rush it. I'm going to put, the Honey Bear's had that in her pocket. So I'll put that over there. I'm not going to cut up this. I just can't. Not yet. I'm going to put that away. These are going to go away, and I'm going to persist with some more edging. I do like that just as a, you know, display purposes. And I do have another page, but we'll see. I'll just put them there, put these away, keep them, because I did want to try this third. Let me get along in the video. Oh, no, there's an ad. Too hard. I wonder if we can see. Can we see the front page of the video? Get rid of the ads. It's one of those leaflets that has a heap of crocheted edges in. So let me just see if I can get that up so you know what I'm looking at. Just getting past all these ads. Good on you, YouTube. Annoy us with all these ads. That's the last crocheted edge that she's got there. So I'd really like to have a go at that one. It's a very scalloped looking piece. So that's edge number 3. If we go right back to the beginning, that's the book that she's using. I think she says it's 1946. So yeah. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to play some more with these little crocheted edges of mine. Maybe I get to the point where I put a few more in. That'd be nice. And then, I think I'd like that, but we'll see. They are testing my patience. But we've got time. The project can continue on. I can pick these up occasionally, and maybe my mate will be over for dinner again in the next couple of weeks, and we can do some more because they're beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. I think you got the gist of where I'm heading with this particular page and prompt. It's just whether I donate 2 pages to it because, yeah, 6 prompts yet to come. If I pull that anymore, I'm going to have no bloomin' base left. Yeah, there's 6 prompts, I believe. I might be wrong, but I think I'm right. Halfway through, and my book is really getting chunky. So, yeah, I'm only going to dedicate 1 page. There you go, I just made a decision. Flip-flopping around today. All right, lovely. Okay, well, look after yourselves, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye. Hello, everyone. I'm back, and I ended up just sitting here after I pinned these down ready to be just stitched and held into position. I turned my video back on and started the 3rd and final one on that little video series, and it's looking just gorgeous. It was a tricky, yeah, sort of. It was sort of, you know, once you hit the repeat, you're like, phew, take a deep breath and you're there. So it's not too bad, but you definitely will need to know how to crochet to give it a go. There are simpler ones out there like that, this one up the top here, but very pretty. And it'd be very nice in a smaller crochet cotton. Remember, I'm using a number 5. I was getting close to the end of it too, so I was so hoping that I'd have enough of that thread to finish it. So that'll go into my stitch pile if I have to find some more threads. I think I've got a couple little errors here and there. I think that's an error, that there. That should just be a little peak. It's either that or that's an error back here with not enough. But either way, we've got a square set where we've got a point here. So remembering this potentially is a little girl's sampler or a salesman's sampler, and He can barely crochet and she is learning to crochet. So there you go. I'm going to leave it at that because, you know, that's the same as that. So I have a feeling that's actually the error there. I think that should be more, I would say this is the point of which that you connect to the doily that's going along. So hence the flatter edge where this is a little point. Unless I'm just not, oh no, hello, it's not wrong. There, that's better. It just wasn't sitting right, so it is okay. There is no error. Just got to find that flatter edge, and that's what would have connected to the little doily that it would have gone on. Mind you, it would have been a lot finer looking. This is pretty junky, but for my purposes, fantastic. So now I'm just going to put a few pins so that I can stitch it down. It's very addictive, this, making some little crocheted edges, because you're not committing to a major project, so it's just fun to explore these patterns. And if you can find some good YouTube videos that you can follow the instructions on, it's actually really cool. Let's just turn that little edge. That's where having the needle and thread come in next and stitch it all down is actually going to go a long way to holding your work, especially if your tension's a bit out. And these little dangly threads I'll just feed back through in a few well-placed stitches. They're not going to go anywhere. There we go. So we're getting there. It's certainly looking like a sampler of trims, which is the whole brief of the journal itself. Okay, lovely. Well, I'll definitely say goodbye now. I did actually edit the whole video together and I've downloaded it to my phone ready to go to the YouTube channel. And then I sat here and did this and I thought, oh, I just have to bring you up to speed. So yeah, turn the camera back on, another 5 minutes. So I've got to re-edit the video now and add this little bit of video footage in so that you get to see, I guess, the three from the video that is linked below from Vintage Crocheting. So at least you see the three of them and you can decide whether you want to make them. I think that's it. All right, I'm going to go and find some more crocheting edge videos and yeah, I might even make some with number 8 cotton. That was number 5, so it's a lot thicker. So I'll be just staying away from 12. Way too thin. So I might try number 8 and see what they look like. All right, I'll catch up with this project in a week or so. And yeah, see you in the next video. Bye. Just me again. I'm back. Crochet hook. I'm not sure if I mentioned in the video the size of the hook I'm using. It's a 1.75 mil, and the cotton I used was a number 5 crochet cotton. So that's what you're seeing here. That there, I think was a number 12. I'm going to drop back now to a number 8 for the next few that I do and see what they look like for the gap. If they don't look right, I might have to go further a foot into my stash and see if I can find another number 5. But we'll just experiment and see how you go. But at least try and find yourself a 1.75 or a 1.5. 2 might be too big, but just have a play. All right, guys, this is definitely it. And we'll see you later. Bye. Hello everyone, I'm back again. Well, I went and found 2 more videos showing me 2 more crocheted edges. So I thought instead of waiting another week to show you the page completed, I've just come back to film this again and to show you what I've done. So there it is, all done. It's yet to be stitched in. So a few seconds ago you saw this one. that one and this one from the one particular video, and remembering this was so fine and delicate that I wasn't real happy with it, but I've used it anyway. And this is the actual pattern. It has these little picots at the top of that, which you'd know because you've just sat for nearly an hour watching me talk about it. So I then had this gap to fill, so I went into YouTube again and found 3 more crocheted edges for trimming a doily. I found this one, and this one. So I'll just bring them up to the camera. They were all really simple to do, just simple stitches, even though this one here looks so amazingly full on, but it was really good. This one here, nice and simple. It's nearly a variation of that, just by creating these little floralettes at the top of each row of single crochet that sort of connects, and then you come through and put a floralette on the top of them. So that one there could be easily converted into that. This one here was interesting. You started crocheting at the bottom here, and you create this little pattern, and then in the process you throw out a line of 7, and when you sort of get up here and you turn around, just sort of coming back, then you turn again, you finish it off, and then you start again. You throw out your chain of 7, then you come along and add the little bridge, so to speak, structure, and then you fill in with the little scallops, and then you carry on, and so to speak again, over, back, back, finish it off. And so the next thing would be throw out the 7 again. So very interesting, that one, where these ones were a single line of chain stitch. Then I went back through and did a double crochet to create that border. And I guess if this was onto a doily, that would be the edging on the doily, and then you do this little trim. The lady that does this one was talking about a scarf, and that she puts this on the edge of a scarf. I thought, oh, how pretty, how pretty. This one here was a bit of an unusual one. It was sort of very similar to this, except it's a bit more detached. It's nearly a twist on it. You can see that there's this little cluster of stitches here that anchor the scallops, and that's that same cluster of stitches, except this is more straight, where this is sort of at a little angle. So it's quite interesting. Anyway, that's it. I then got some blue cotton and A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So our salesman's ready to go on the road and start peddling his crocheted trims, and he probably sells cotton, so what better way to showcase his work. Now, I'd love to do a double page spread for the sampler of crocheting. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do is I'm not going to commit to a location for that yet. Everything's still a little fluid. It could be in here as the front to that, if there's only one page, so it sort of matches to there, and then you open it up and you're on your way again with some more individual type techniques. And then I've got this space for, you know, maybe there's something coming that could go there. So at the moment, I think that's how I'm gonna present it, but we'll leave it at that. There's no rush, there's plenty more time. Okay guys, I'm going to call the prompt complete for my journal, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.